It's a daily vibe, the daily vibe, the daily vibe with Heather.
How awesome is that? Okay, so we told you girls we're going to go all out. We're going to have fun while we are social distancing and quarantining. So much fun that Hallie made us our own jingle. Can we give Hallie a round of applause for that wonderful musical talent of Hallie Edwards? That is amazing. You girls have been, we talked about that Hallie was part of the Bob Marley cover band. And ever since then, you girls have been wanting to, hear some of the vocal wonders of our Hallie. So she made us our own theme song. During times like this, where we are literally sitting at home and twiddling our thumbs, there is negative news left and right. Everywhere you go, you turn on Facebook, you turn on the TV, and it's all that gloom and doom. And guess what? That's not what we are about here at Vibe. So we are the queens of making lemonade out of lemons, right?
Yes.
I mean, you already know how to do that. We've proven that. If you're just tuning in, we had a car crash through our building. This is kind of like, okay.
Before all this happened.
Right. You're like, okay, it can't get worse. Don't ever say that, right? So now we are here in quarantine, and we are here for your entertainment as well. So jump on board. We are going to have some fabulous discussions this morning. We are your go-to daily show that has nothing to do with negativity. Okay, something just popped up on the screen. Somebody hit not now. But anyway, so we are your daily dose of positivity. And we're just going to have fun. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to talk. So whether, you've been up for a good minute and you're starting to make lunch, or you're like me and time has completely stopped and flipped and reversed at my house, you could just be waking up. So, there's no rush for the morning commute anymore, right? So wake up with Vibe.
Poor Shelby said, all I heard is car crash. Please tell me not another one.
Not another one. It's just a testimony to how we can overcome and laugh at ourselves. And so that's what we're planning on doing this morning. So jump on board. Let us know that you're watching. Share with your friends. Somebody will win some Vibe cash.
Yay.
Yes. And what's better than a little online retail therapy during these times, and especially when you get some Vibe cash to do it with. And so anyway, tag your friends, share. What are you doing this morning or afternoon or whatever time it is, because it all has stopped now. So what are you up to?
Hey Amanda, hey Courtney, Kayla and Jessica are here.
I see Kate and Tammy.
Hello.
Christy from Texas.
Oh,
Hey, Texas.
Michelle, she said this is her first time watching.
Hi, Michelle.
Well, hi, Michelle. What a wonderful way to get to know us, right? So right now, we are actually a clothing company, but we're taking it back to my roots, and we're going to do some live talk shows, interactive talk shows. That's what I did for over 20 years. No, 10 years. Gosh. Which industry am I talking about? I've always done fashion and radio. And since the world, kind of needs some positivity right now. So let's just talk. Let's have some fun, and let's do it. Some of you ladies, the only interaction you're getting right now is either with your husband or your kids.
You're right.
So you are all about, let's talk.
Your girl Rachel's watching. Rachel Holman's watching.
I miss Rachel. She messaged and checked on me the other day. So anyway, today we have a very special guest. I am laughing at ourselves because we're going to totally, make this like a real talk show, because that's who we are. We don't do anything halfway. We go 1,000%. And so we are very limited to the people we can have on our talk show, because,
Because it is what it is.
it is what it is. So there's 4 of us here right now, so your options. And today we have the wonderful Hallie Edwards.
Woo! Surprise, it's just me.
Oh, just you, Hallie.
Were you expecting somebody?
Kimber said it's Hallie with her Kool-Aid.
That's not Kimber.
That's that expensive, nutritional drink.
This is, I need
And
all
I
the
have
nutrients.
the coffee.
Yes.
Because I am a coffee drinker. So, girls, let me tell you a little bit about Hallie.
Oh.
So Hallie Edwards, the amazing Hallie.
She sang our jingle.
Yes.
Yes.
Very talented. She hails from
Richton.
Richton. She hails from Richton. She has been part of Vibe's marketing team for
4 months.
about 4 months now. She's lived through all kinds of catastrophes.
Welcome to the show.
So
Right. And so here we are just wanting to get to know each other, but I mean, what a wonderful first guest to have on the show.
I
Hallie.
am a little blonder. Thank you.
A little less tan.
A little less.
You did
tan.
work on the roots.
Good.
Hallie was very concerned during this quarantine about her root growing.
They're pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I scrubbed some of my tan off, so I am back to myself.
If you're just tuning in and you're just hearing about Hallie's spray tan, she
Watch a couple of lives.
Yeah.
go back, watch a couple of lives, and you will see.
You're like, who's that Jamaican? Just me.
It's just Hallie. She got double sprayed in a spray tan booth not too long ago.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's the little things in life. I truly enjoyed that. I mean, you might not have enjoyed it
It was
as
great
much.
fun.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
I loved it.
Little Maddie looked at me and was like, what's wrong? Are you dark? And I was like, I'm very dark, Maddie. Very dark.
Very dark. A wonderful dark shade of tangerine. It was wonderful.
Mhm.
So,
Tammy,
you know,
Tammy says y'all are so much better than the View.
thank
Yay!
you. Right? We're
Thank
definitely not going to argue with each other. We're definitely not
No.
going to get into anything heavy.
No.
The world has that enough. And
Mhm.
frankly, you're not watching me for my opinion, are you? I mean, that's what I'll always want to say
Yeah.
to people.
This
like,
is
no,
interactive.
your entertainment, like, hush, you don't get to have an opinion.
Right.
So we are going to talk about some really fun things today. We're planning on doing this every day at 11 o'clock. We're going to give away fun things. We're just going to be kind of your background noise and your social interaction. You might not get to, you know, be out, get to see friends so much. And, you know, even when I call friends to talk on the phone right now, it's a lot of like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yesterday I fell asleep on the trampoline. And I woke
Good
up
day.
because my 6-year-old jumped on top of me and she was like, break the egg. And I was like, oh my, is this my life now?
It
Like I'm
is.
just asleep on the trampoline at
It
4
is.
o'clock in the afternoon.
It is. I am officially putting out a disclaimer that I shall probably gain 100 pounds.
Yes, fat and sassy, honey.
Yeah, we're gonna get fat and sassy because that's all I'm doing right now is eating. So it's like I'm like, okay, I can take a nap and then we're gonna wake up and what can I cook? And I'm really enjoying it because it's kind of like chopped. You know, like last night I made this amazing ravioli casserole out of like the last can of Chef Boyardee. It's very fun. So I'm just eating.
What
That's
did you
it.
put with that?
I should do a recipe. I put I put raviolis out in the bottom of the casserole dish, and then I did some spaghetti sauce. Emily's gonna die. Okay, because I did spaghetti sauce and ketchup.
It's the ketchup that I can't wrap my
I
head around.
put ketchup in my spaghetti sauce too. When I make it, it
I
gives
put a
it
little
like
sugar
some
in my
It's the
spaghetti.
same thing. I used to do sugar, and then I was like, oh, it makes it even more tomatoey-er, and it gives it some sugar. So I did spaghetti sauce, ketchup, and then pepperonis, and then cheese, and then repeated it again and baked it. And the kids were wonderful. My 9-year-old experienced heartburn for the first time last night. That was really fun. He came in my room and he said, my stomach hurts and it hurts really bad, and I think I'm dying. And I was like, okay, you're gonna throw up? And he was like, no, it doesn't feel like throw up. I was like, you need to go to the bathroom? He's like, it doesn't feel like that. After a couple of Q&As, we figured out heartburn. He had indigestion for the first time in his life. So I was like, yay, okay, you can get through this. This is fine. So anyway, today's topics, we're going to be talking about more lighthearted things. So tag your friends, share, you get to win some Vibe Cash.
Yes.
So the first thing our first topic that I would like to discuss is everybody's favorite movies. So throw out there, tell us what your favorite movies are. Movies that made a great impact on you. Maybe, you know, just like you carried, you could watch 1,000 times over and over again. One of my favorite movies is Fried Green Tomatoes.
Oh God, I
I
cry
watched that
every
the other
time.
night. Yes.
Are you
Seen
a
that
crier?
in years.
Yeah.
Oh, I am.
How
too.
is
In
a
movies.
crier? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to spoil it.
Everybody's seen it. If you
Okay.
haven't seen Fried Green Tomatoes,
Well, when he gets his foot
Spoiler
stuck in
alert.
the train track.
That is
oh
sad.
My God.
I really only typically cry in movies if it involves animals or children.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, you know.
I won't watch it if it hasn't something happens to it.
I know.
So we've got, let's see, Dragonheart.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
What is
I
that?
saw it
I
like
don't
when
know
it
what that is.
first came out, like long time ago. But it's a really good movie. Now here's a theory that I am wanting to know what you girls think about fried green tomatoes. So, was Iggy the lady in the nursing home?
I always thought it was.
I always thought it was.
It never is. I've actually, believe it or not, I'm a documentary person and researcher.
Mhm.
I've actually looked it up. You know, there's no clue if it is her. The only thing that and I forget, I should have done my research before we talked about this. But there was a theory that she was not actually Iggy, that she was like a kid in the town.
Oh.
So, what is y'all's opinion?
No,
I
but
haven't
Kimber
seen it in
needs
a
to
long
go back
time.
to sleep because she said High School Musical.
Bye, Kimber.
Never seen it.
All right, so let's see what else we've got. Enough with Jennifer Lopez.
Oh,
Is that
that's
the
a
one where
good
she
one.
beats up her ex-husband?
Where
She's like stalking him or something?
I don't know. I haven't seen
Or
it.
no,
he's
he was
stalking
stalking her. She was like a waitress, and he met her in the shop. Is that the one?
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see
So,
it now. Like,
Dirty Dancing.
yeah.
Wow.
Keep throwing out ideas, because a lot of us, you know, we got a little time on our hands.
I could watch Twister every time it comes on TV.
Yeah, that's
I
really
know
good.
that's random.
David likes Twister
I
too.
love
He's
it.
made me watch it a few times. I'm not gonna get into the movies.
When they're
but-
like cow, another cow. No, that was the same cow. Okay.
All right, so now Kimber's speaking my language. She said she just started all the Harry Potter movies and all the Avengers.
I love
seen
superhero movies.
I do too.
Have you never seen what?
any of the Harry Potters.
What?
So, okay, so this is a really good time. I feel
So
like
I guess we need a new co-host.
Yes, Alex and I watched Fantastic Beasts yesterday.
I feel like this is a really good time to kind of watch movies again that
Yes.
have like multiple, like where
Yeah.
you can just go like watch number one, watch number
Mhm.
two, watch
Yeah.
them all the way through. Before the pandemic, we had started watching the order of like the Marvel movies, like you know, in the order they're supposed to be. I found it online,
Oh.
Yep.
and like there's a certain order to watch them.
Mhm.
And I never knew that I would like movies, like superhero movies as much as I do until I started. You know, I have 3 boys, and I'm really kind of into
Yeah.
it.
Oh, with
so.
all the boys, yeah. Well, I've currently watched Frozen 2 75 times over the weekend.
Who's seen Frozen 2? It's out on Disney Plus. My daughter watched it. Yes, actually, all of my kids except my oldest son watched it yesterday. The 2 little boys had very low attention span,
Yes.
but my daughter told me it was the best movie ever. So
It really is better than the first one.
Nobody in my house will watch that with me.
Oh, sad. We'll watch it. We can FaceTime and watch
Oh,
it.
Amanda said Something Borrowed. So that was a book, and there's a sequel to the book
Ah.
called Something Blue. It's really good. They
Who's
never
in
made
that
a
movie? Something Borrowed.
Kate Hudson and
Oh, when they like.
John Krasinski and what's the girl?
Anne
Jennifer
Hathaway?
Goodwin,
Oh, where she falls in love with the groom.
the fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Unrealistic, but that's a good one.
don't do it.
I know.
So what is your favorite movie? Now I go all the way back. I really like also The Princess Bride.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just a classic.
It is. And would you believe that
Mhm.
David Thompson just watched it for the first time this year, and I
Oh.
still could not make him sit still long enough that I don't know if it really counts that
He probably
watched
has no
it.
idea what he saw or watched.
I mean, you know, what is it? As you wish. And he like goes down the hill. Now I have to admit, for a little bit as a
Yeah.
child, because I'd like to know what year that came out. I was still a child, you know, and I'm 37, so it's been a good
It
minute.
was in the 90s.
And like when I
No,
watched
it was in the
it,
80s.
Oh, was it?
when I
Oh.
watched it again with David over this past year, like I remember as a child being so terrified of the swamp, like the fire swamp,
Yeah.
with the big old rats.
Yeah.
And like I watched it this year, and I'm like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Like the quality. Of course, we're talking 80s, like
Yeah.
87.
87.
Oh, wow.
We're talking like
was
no
one.
real big. You were one. So you know, it's not like huge special effects or
Yeah.
anything. And I just remember being like so scared of it. And
I know.
now I watch it, and I'm like,
Yeah, you
my
can definitely
gosh.
tell it's people in a suit.
Uh-huh.
it's people wrapped
Yeah.
in like brown carpet,
Yeah.
like crawling
Like,
around on
oh,
all fours.
yeah.
Like, how was I scared?
So let's see. Nicole says Heather, the Thor movies are awesome. Kimber concurs because she thinks Thor is hot.
I mean,
I mean,
would.
yeah.
Would,
I kind of like Daddy Thor, like Dirty Thor, when he had gained weight and had like the dad bod
Yeah.
and the beard. I'm
He
like,
looks
I
like the Big Lebowski.
He
Yeah.
does, and I relate more to that Thor. Like, I believe
Yeah.
that Thor would, be like
Dad bod is
Right.
Where it's
Would
at.
you like to go get something to eat? The other
Yeah.
Thor's like, who are you, peasant?
Let's go to the gym.
Right. And I don't have anything to relate with the
No.
Thor that goes to the gym, but
Oh.
Dad bod Thor.
We have several votes for all the Nicholas Sparks movies. Do
The
you like
no-
to torture yourselves?
The
Nicholas
Notebook.
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
Notebook.
yeah.
And where somebody dies in every one. They're
Yeah.
so sad.
But that's not like sad. Like it's not a kid or an animal. I can watch it.
Yeah.
I think it is.
That book
And
is
they
sad,
die at
though.
the end
Somebody
together.
always, but like every Nicholas Sparks
Yeah.
movie, somebody dies at some point.
Well, my husband's super obsessed with all the John Wick movies,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
so is my son. So that's
Mhm.
I have to watch stuff like that. Well, I think my
Yeah.
equivalent of watching those things are like David watching The Princess Bride. Like really
Huh.
doesn't happen.
I just remember watching Magic Mike one time in the living room, and my husband came home from work, and he had apparently been standing behind me for like 5 minutes, because I'm just like, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I couldn't find the remote. It got stuck."
I've never seen Magic Mike.
Oh.
You're not missing much.
No,
No.
no. Hallie says yes.
No.
What was the name?
Urban
If they would
Cowboy.
If they would
Oh,
just
that is a. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I figured you.
Urban Cowboy and Pure Country, honey.
Well, Shelby has said Pretty Woman like 4 times, so we're not acknowledging her.
Pretty
so
Woman.
let's talk about Pretty Woman.
So fun story. Remember, I always tell the story. So one time when I was on the radio, we always did this game, and of course there was no visual, it's just sound. And we did a game, and we had to reenact with just our vocals a scene from a movie, and everybody had to
Yeah.
guess it. So I had to do Pretty Woman. So
Pretty Woman.
I did the bathtub scene where she's singing Kiss,
Yeah.
in the bathtub, and we had water and was like splashing it around, and I had to do the Julia Roberts, laugh and.
Richard Gere could be. He's like George Strait. They could be 175 and still good. You don't think George? he's
I
good-looking?
kind of lost it for Richard Gere in the 90s with that weird rumor that went around that nobody knows if it's true or
I
not.
still don't know.
Richard Gere and the gerbil. I'll just leave it at
Oh,
that.
I remember that.
And then I just can't look at him the same anymore.
That's a little
So
bit
keep
so-
going.
Yeah.
So anyway, that is some of our favorite movies. I really did get into Harry Potter for a bit though. Not that I believe in any of that stuff. Like disclaimer, whoever you are watching, it's just fun.
Yeah.
And then, have you seen all the people on like Facebook and stuff reenacting Disney, Disney
They missed
World
their trip
at home? I am all about that. We can make the Thompson house Disney World. If you know me, one of the things I've always talked about here at Vibe is that I want people to, Vibe is a combination between Vogue, Chick-fil-A, and Disney World.
Yeah.
It's your happy place, my pleasure, and then fashion.
Yeah.
And so I'd say we reenact Disney World. So.
There was some with the family. They were sitting in a log, and they all had their ponchos on, and the parents just throw water at them.
Yeah, and somebody else
Yeah.
did Pirates of the Caribbean,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
and
that
they
was
had
cute.
the toe hanging, somebody with their toe hanging off the counter, and
Yeah.
the mom and dad chasing around the island holding the broom. That was hilarious. So anyway, we were actually, I love Universal too, and they have the Harry Potter world.
Oh yeah.
So maybe we
I
can.
had never been to
Oh,
Universal.
Disney Lisa's watching.
Hey Disney
Hey.
Lisa, we're talking about Disney
I
World.
know.
She just said all about Disney over here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is there any news of when we can go back to Disney, Lisa? We're waiting
Yeah.
because we're all coming to your house. It's already planned.
We were supposed to go in
Claire
June.
Wally's on right now, and she's the one that let me post her picture of her.
The little
child-
cocker spaniel.
No,
Oh.
It's not.
no, it's a Saint. Let's see, it's a Charles. Oh,
St. Charles.
Cavalier.
yes,
Oh,
it's a
it
Cavalier.
was so
Uh,
cute.
I mean, I know that term, but I thought a cocker spaniel and that was the same thing. It's not.
It's not, but I think it is in the Spaniel family.
Okay.
She just says not yet.
Wow. Oh,
Not yet.
so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can't go back yet.
Well, we're planning. We're coming to your house,
Yes.
Lisa.
Sorry, this tag is itching.
Okay, so I also wanted to discuss some of the best vacation places because, man, when we come out of this and you finally let us out of the house,
Yeah.
it is on.
Yeah.
I am ready.
Have eaten so much, I'll get stuck in a tube somewhere. Also.
She'll have a story
I'll
about
have a
getting stuck
story.
in an inner tube at a Wendys water park. So, where's your favorite place to go on vacation at, girls?
Yes.
Somewhere I've never been that every single other person has been before is like the mountains in Tennessee.
Oh,
I took your family there.
my
I was
father-in-law.
pregnant. I was
She
pregnant.
She was very pregnant.
Yeah, my father-in-law just bought a cabin there. I'll take you. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a 3-story cabin.
My aunt lives there. I don't
We
know
could
if
go
she'll
there
let
in
us come
social
stay.
distance.
We can.
I think that would
There's
be
a hot
great.
tub and a
Yeah.
pool table
Great. We could still do the daily vibe from
from the
a
hot tub.
3-story cabin in
From
the
Aunt
mountains.
Dolly's house, we can just go. She'll let us in. For
I know she
dark,
will.
she'll let us in. Yeah, mountains is the best.
I hope that you either never meet Dolly Parton and she doesn't disappoint you as much as you have built her up in your head. Like Hallie's gonna finally meet Dolly Parton one day. She'll be like, Dolly, and she's gonna be like, guards, please take her. She's
No,
weird,
no,
and
wait.
she's gonna be crushed for the rest
Wait.
of her life.
No.
Amanda
Isn't
said.
wasn't there a movie about that? Wasn't it a Sandra Bullock movie where she thinks it's Dolly, not Dolly Parton?
And I don't know.
Somebody say if you know what Miss is talking about.
Wasn't it in Miss Congeniality maybe?
No.
No.
The second one?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, if you know what Susan's talking about, please let us know.
Susan doesn't know what she's talking about.
Either, right?
Amanda said she just left Natchez. That's where I'm from, Amanda.
Oh, fun! Natchez is a good little weekend getaway. Emily might not think so because she's
I
from
do not
there.
at all.
But if you're not, I know people that live in Natchez I know from Natchez. They're like, "Why are you going to Natchez? Oh, gross."
Well, I feel like it's the
It's
same thing
fun.
anywhere
It's
you're
beautiful.
from.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would really like to go to the mountains one
Yeah.
day. But to me, I always am like, it's like a 6 to 8 hour drive.
It's pretty far.
And I'm like, if I drove that far, I could be almost at Disney World.
yeah, true.
So,
Well, we did it last October with all of the kids.
yeah.
I wanted to go like hiking and see nature. No, our cabin had a Mrs. Pac-Man, so Trip never wanted to leave. And then it was called the Love Cabin.
Did you know that when you booked it?
Yes, because it was cheap. And then we got there, and there was a couple of bedrooms, and it was 2-story, and then the bathtub upstairs was shaped like a heart.
Did it have mirrors everywhere?
No, but it had like open windows. So my kids were like, let's all get in the heart bathtub. And then they all went to get in. Well, apparently the housekeeper hadn't really checked everything well. And there was like some beer caps around. So I was like, let's not.
The Heart Cabin.
The
The Love Cabin.
The Love Shack.
The
probably.
Love Shack.
So,
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I can tell you, like, I never really get to go on vacations. The only vacations I've ever gotten to go to that were truthfully 100% a vacation was Disney World.
Yeah.
Everything else, it's always like, hey, you've got to go here anyway, so let's do a couple of, like, fun things, because
Right.
I always go on business trips. So I can tell you some of my worst vacations. Does anybody have any horrible vacation stories? Unfortunately, now that I'm thinking about it, there might be more horrible vacation stories than
My
good
worst
vacation
vacation
stories.
was Disney.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
My
sick.
daughter was pregnant. Her 4-year-old, how old was Cohen?
Cohen was about 4 or 5.
And would not go on
Five.
any ride.
5. I think he
So
was
I
like
had to
5.
sit outside with him on everything.
Yeah. That's how Addie was. Addie
While my
would ride.
pregnant daughter rode a scooter and whatever.
Oh, y'all, it was awful. I was at Disney World and I ended up having strep and pneummonia and a
God.
kidney
But
infection.
that didn't
And
stop
you were
her.
pregnant.
And I was like 8.5 months
Oh
pregnant.
my gosh.
And it was July.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was 150 degrees.
You couldn't have been 8.5 months pregnant in July. He was born in November.
Okay, it felt
It
like
felt like she was
that.
8.5 months pregnant. Yeah.
I was as big as that too. So
Yes, she was.
So Amanda says she hated the one cruise she went on. I'm with you, Amanda. I hate
I don't
cruises.
do cruises.
I've never been on a cruise. I'm scared. Number 1,
Mm-mm.
I get vertigo.
Yeah.
Number 2, I get, I'm like, my stomach gets turned easy. Number 3, I don't like the idea that I couldn't leave if I needed to.
Yeah, if
So-
you just look out and see water, I can't see land.
Like if I could pack my own inflatable raft.
You're like,
Like-
all right, I'm gonna go. And just
Like,
jump out.
right. It's kind of the same thing. Like
If you
I've
could drive-
always
if you
been
could drive the boat.
right. Well, I've always been that person that's like, no, I'll take my car.
Yeah.
Because when I'm ready to leave, I want to leave. And I almost feel like I would be like,
Yeah.
I can't leave. I think I would go into a panic attack.
Yeah.
So,
I like how scheduled they are. It's
Yeah.
very like you eat at this time, you get up at this time, you get off the boat at this time, you get back on the boat at this time, you eat dinner at this time,
Yeah.
and
But we have a lot of ladies that always come in and they're getting outfits for cruises and they're
yeah.
super excited about it.
Some people love them. They live for them.
Yeah, we gave away a cruise because we're
Yeah.
that type of people. So follow, like, share, because you never know. I mean, little heads up, we're not giving away a cruise right now.
Not right this second.
But you keep
Possibly
watching.
Later.
although
Make
it's
this a
probably
thing.
super cheap now, we could probably all throw in $1 and go on a
Yeah,
cruise.
Be like, cruises
Yes.
for everybody, and you get a cruise, and you get a cruise. So, now, one of
Yeah.
my worst, it was a workcation,
Mhm.
was in Dallas, Texas. Some of you know this story.
Listen.
So I was in Dallas, Texas, and I was actually enjoying it. If you're a mother of a lot of children, like I am, like going to eat alone in a restaurant is a vacation.
Go in the bathroom.
Right. But I had to go work in Dallas, Texas one time, and I was by myself, which I was super, that's cool. And I was working, and we were in a really, really nice part of town,
Yeah.
staying at this awesome hotel that I probably would have never afforded on my own. And around the hotel was like little restaurants and shops and all that. Well, I decided to go to Designer Shoe Warehouse by myself. And so I'm in, I go to Designer Shoe Warehouse. I had the whole cry about how nothing fits me. And then I started to walk back to the hotel, and I was talking on my phone to David. Now, I blame this whole scenario on the fact that and if you've been following Heather for a long time, you might remember this. About 8 years ago, I was really pushing the trend of wearing flowers in your hair.
I had a flower. I had a purple flower.
I started that.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, I was really pushing the trend of wearing flowers in your hair. So here I am walking along in Dallas, Texas, walking back to the hotel sidewalk, talking to David on my cell phone. I have this big white flower in my hair, and I really blame all this on the white flower in my hair.
Yes.
It's tons of people, and all of a sudden I hear somebody scream, "They've got a gun!" And then I hear pop, 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 and I get impacted.
Ow.
Out. And so the bullets hit me, and I'm talking to David on the phone, and I said, "I've got to let you go. I just got shot." Okay. So I hang up on the phone. Fast forward, I know that David went into sheer panic. He couldn't get me on the
Probably,
phone for an
"Baby?
hour.
Baby?
He loaded up all the kids in the car and just started driving west. That's all he knew. He was just like, "I'm just going that way."
Mama
But
got
anyway,
shot.
so I heard, they got a gun, pop, 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 and then I felt the impact. So I hit the ground, and there's a good 25 seconds that I am thoroughly convinced that I just got shot. I am the victim of a drive-by shooting, random. Now I've really come to believe that they were like, "Hey, you see that idiot with that big flower in her hair?
Shoot her.
Let's take her out." So anyway, so I go and I'm trying to, I had on a denim, is actually chambray blazer, so back on trend, by the way.
Let's get that.
And I had a crossbody purse on, and so I'm trying to take off my purse and my blazer to see my wounds. And then when I finally get it off, I did have some bruising and some abrasions. It was rubber bullets. I got shot. I guess it was like crowd control bullets. I don't know. But anyway, the police came. There was a lot of eyewitnesses. They were able to identify, like, make the vehicle and all that kind of stuff. The Dallas police actually asked me who would have a problem with me in Dallas, Texas, and I'm like, Designer Shoe Warehouse, because I was just in there for 3 hours, didn't buy anything, and cried when I left. So anyway, so I was the victim of a drive-by shooting in Dallas, Texas on my workcation.
Well,
Wow.
Becky has a bad one.
Oh, no.
She said they were in Birmingham coming home from Kentucky and got tired and stopped at a hotel. Well, when they went to their room, the door was locked and they could not get in because the housekeeper was in there having an affair. And had locked them out of their hotel room.
Like, excuse me, when
So
you're
they
done,
had
can
to
you
drive
clean up?
home in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, I would have
Wow.
blasted that housekeeper all over, like an episode of Cheaters.
Yeah, I hope you got your money back.
Like an episode of Cheaters.
Oh,
I
that
would
was
have
such a
been
good
like,
show.
I
I always wanted somebody to cheat on me just so I could be on my show. I'd be like, let's take them down.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
My worst vacation. So I grew up, shout out to Purvis United Methodist Church.
whoop, whoop.
Well, we went on youth trips every year, and I don't know why they continue to make me go whitewater rafting and hiking because I don't do that. So one year they said, let's go whitewater rafting. I was like, whatever, put me on the one with the kids. So we get on there, my mom included, and our instructor, you know, he had like all the teardrop tattoos. He had like 400. So
He's
I'm
killed
assuming,
400 people.
I'm assuming. And he was like, when we go down this last rapid, we don't want to go down sideways. If we go down sideways, we might all drown. All right,
And we're
let's
going to
go.
add a tier.
And we're just
for
going
each
to keep
of you.
going. So I was like, oh my God, this sucks. I don't want to do this. So they put me in the front for some reason. So, of course, when we get to the back, he was like, well, we're going down sideways. And I was like, oh, okay. So we flip over. You know, we all fall out. I'm like holding onto a little twig on the side of the, oh my God. So somebody else has to come by and like swoop me up, put me, some random people, I don't know where they were from, they just put me in the, but apparently it was really shallow, so I could have stood up and just walked to shore, but instead I was holding on for dear life, and everybody on the shore was like, are you gonna like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm drowning, and they're like, but you're really not,
But stand up.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So our next adventure, the same youth trip, once we got to North Carolina, they said, let's go hiking. Gross. I almost just died. So I was a cheerleader, or dance team, I don't know, believe it or not. I was on this team. And I had on some of those Asics. You remember
Yeah.
the
I had
Asics?
those.
They were flat at the bottom. Well, I
Mhm.
wanted to be cool and wear my new Asics, even though my dance teacher told me not to bring those on vacation. I brought them. So we're trying to
No
hike.
grip.
No grip. So we're trying to hike, and it had also rained. So once again, we're all hiking. I slipped. And here I go, just down the mountain. Everybody else is way up here, and they turn around and they're like, are you going to come? And I'm like, I can't. So I just gave up, and I said, I'm going to go sit somewhere.
Yes, that does not sound like.
So,
Mental note. We don't
Did
take
you get
Hallie.
invited back next year?
yeah, and I sat out everything. I was like, I'm
Well,
going to go to the mall.
I actually, I really hope Kelly Anding is watching. I actually had a very similar experience. Youth trip, church,
Always use trips.
whitewater rafting,
Mhm.
and we fell out of the boat, the
Yeah.
raft. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I had thoroughly convinced myself that did not happen. Like, that was a random memory I had made up in my head. And then about 3 months ago, I have a friend that was on the same youth trip. She's like, do you remember when we fell out of that raft, whitewater rafting on that church trip? And I'm like, that happened? I thought I imagined that. Like, that really happened? So, do not put me and Hallie
No.
in any situation
Mm-mm.
like that. We are not we're not your people when it comes to hiking.
I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
Yeah, nothing like that. That is not fun.
Mm-mm.
And now, like I said, now that I think about it, I think I've had more horrible vacations than good
Mhm.
ones. We were stuck in Atlanta with me with the stomach virus.
Oh, that was
Ooh.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
All of,
pregnant
all
on this
of
one?
this.
No.
I just, but it always, like, any of her terrible things that happen to her always poops on me.
Uh-huh.
She has to take care of it.
Right. I
You have to
always
watch all the kids.
Do it.
No, this was, I couldn't
This-
get on the airplane because
Well, I
I
remember we flew out of New Orleans, and the lady beside you
was
on the-
throwing up. Like, as soon as we got on the
Driving.
plane, like, the plane's not even taking off, and this lady has the barf bag. And at the time, I'm like, had a
Mardi
little too
Gras.
much fun on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, we
Can't
laughed the
handle
whole
it.
way.
We laughed at her, and then like 24 hours later, I had the worst stomach virus. It was a quick trip to Atlanta. We and I couldn't board the flight back, and so
Oh, wow.
my stepdad had to drive all the way from Mississippi
Poor
to
guy.
Atlanta to come get me.
He flew in. He was offshore. He flew in, drove home, got the car, drove to Atlanta to get us, and then drove with some
Finnegan.
Finnegan can save the world.
We knocked
It
her
really can.
out, put her
Yeah.
in the back seat, and drove back. And Mark did all
Wow.
of that without any sleep.
hmm So
Yeah.
anyway,
Thank
good
you, Mr. Mark.
vacations,
And we're still married.
right?
Yes.
Good vacations, bad vacations.
Mhm.
I mean, at the end, you just have memories, you know.
Yeah.
So
When I was 22, I went to New York by myself. Well, I had a friend with me. My dad thought that was a good idea. So that was fun.
do y'all like New York? Tell me on here. If you've been in New York
Yeah.
City, do you like New York City? Personally, I always thought I would,
Yeah.
and then I don't.
It was just like a big New Orleans. That's just what it felt like.
And
to
I
me.
thought I would hate it, and I loved
She
Yeah.
loved it. I didn't
Mhm.
like it. I guess I'm very spoiled when it comes to like Southern hospitality.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah, they're
told
not
you she was
friendly up
pretty.
there.
Nobody told me I was pretty.
Rude.
Rude. Nobody complimented me on my clothes or my makeup.
Right.
Nobody held doors open for me. I would hold doors open for other people. They would look at me like I was crazy. The
Like
awkward
you wanna be
silence,
paid or something.
right? The awkward silence in elevators in New York City really kills me.
You're like, hey, how's your day? And they're like,
I totally am that person.
Yeah.
And then they're like, where are you from?
Mhm.
Because clearly you're not from here. We don't talk
They
to
said
people.
you're from the South, aren't you? We actually got that.
People would, I mean, like, even we were on a thing and we hadn't even talked to this person, and this person walked up and was like, you're from the South, aren't you? And we said yes, and we said, how did you know? Because he hadn't heard us talk. And
Right.
he said, because you're smiling.
You're making eye. You're making eye.
You're making eye contact
Well,
and smiling with people.
there was a Wendy's next to, because I wasn't paying $75 for a corn dog. So there was a
People would.
Wendy's in who we stayed with. He lives in Queens, and he's bougie. He worked on Broadway, so he took a town car to and from work. Mr. Robert, if you're watching, I doubt it, but he took a town car to and from work. He was like, you don't have to do that because it's like $40 a trip. So we rode the subway, of course. So I remember we got on the subway, and remember the nanny when it was like something about Flushing, Queens?
Flushing Queens.
That's
yeah.
where he lived. He lived in Flushing.
Mm-hmm.
And we got on there, and I remember asking
Amazing.
somebody, I was like, which way are we going? And they were like, what? It's on the board. And I was like, I know, but where are we going?
But I don't understand.
She
the
got up and moved away from me. And I was like, okay, never mind. We'll just find out where we're going when we get there.
I kind of have the nanny hair going on.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mr.
you really
Sheffield. We have a necklace called Sheffield.
I can't do it.
But I got Wendy's for free because I ordered, my whatever I ordered, and they were like, can you say that
Oh.
again?
The older I get, I'm like, what are they saying?
What now? You're
I
Sunny?
can't see.
Pat said we are
Loretta
brightening
said
up
hey.
Hattiesburg.
Loretta's watching.
Hey, Loretta.
I'm getting old. I'm like,
I know.
huh?
Get those little glasses that just have like the little. I don't know what those are called.
Yeah,
They sit
they're-
on
I'm
the-
sorry, I was reading. sorry. I've also
Okay.
noticed that the older I'm getting, I can't drive at night either. So,
I'm saying.
Oh, it's bad. I have to look for the line.
well, there's no lines on the road in Hattiesburg,
Yeah,
Mississippi, so it
True.
doesn't really matter.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just one of the biggest cities in the whole state, but we don't need lines on the road.
Y'all have all this
Our-
time right
our-
now. Go
our
paint the
street
street.
lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, our lights on the street.
Mhm.
Brookhaven, the intersection of 84 and 51 just got gorgeous, big,
Oh.
huge LED
I feel like
lights.
we're bougie enough to have lights
I
and dang
know.
lines on the road.
Yeah.
Come on now.
They can string lights all through Hattiesburg. They can downtown. They can paint the
I'm
lines.
telling you,
mean,
I
I
got
can't
all this
see.
time. Come on, just paint the road.
I drive like this.
Loretta wants
Uh-huh.
to know. She said she sees you drinking your loaded tea. She wants to know your favorite flavor.
Well, this is from Pedal Nutrition. We have to shop and support local businesses right now. I usually get the Dolly.
So brave.
The Dolly or the Barbie. But this is,
She's one of those that gets stuff because of the name.
I'm sad. But this is a special. This is called Cottontail Colada.
Wow.
It's like pina colada.
I'm drinking the Dollar General brand Smooth Dark Roast K-Cup with the Dollar General brand
Clover
French
Valley.
Vanilla Creamer. If you said that, when it's it now.
Becky, I think you just need to stay home. She has another bad vacation. She said her mom booked her and her best friend a room in Atlanta, and when they got there, it was shag blue carpet on all the walls. It was a hotel for call girls.
Oh,
So stay home, Becky.
Your mama was trying to pimp you out like fancy. Wow.
That is wonderful. I mean, it's all memories, right?
Yeah.
I can always say, if something happened to me today, I have experienced
Mhm.
life
Yes.
to the fullest. And it sounds like you have too, Becky, with all your
Yes.
blue shag carpet and a fair
A
hotel
little bed
affair.
that spins. You got to put a quarter in it.
We
I've
had
never
a-
seen one of those in person. I've seen those on TV.
I have.
We had one of those vacation moments, like Wally
Uh-huh.
World. We drove
Oh,
6 hours
God.
out of the way to go to Six Flags in Atlanta, and it was a gorgeous sunny day, and we got there and the whole park was shut down because it had stormed the day before, and they were worried about electrical problems.
Well, see,
Oh,
I always have
my
stories
God.
too. Six Flags Atlanta, picture it. David Thompson loses his glasses on a roller coaster. My husband cannot see without glasses. So they tell us we have to wait till the park shuts down so that they can see under, and go through
Yeah.
underneath and see if they can find them. So what was going to be just like a little 4 hour before we headed out of Atlanta, ended up we had to wait all night because he needed his glasses to drive. I knew that I didn't feel comfortable driving the whole way home. Like,
Yeah.
we needed to switch. Well, we waited till the park closed. They found 46 pairs of glasses under that roller coaster, and none were David's. He ended up picking out the best pair that he could see with.
Just like, these will do.
These will work, and we drove home with those. Six Flags Atlanta. Yeah.
The last time I was at Six Flags Atlanta, I was pregnant and didn't know it, so I'm lucky Alex didn't come out like.
Well, Hayes actually, I have a picture on my phone. Hayes actually was about 6 years old, and he almost fell off out of the Ninja roller coaster.
Oh, gosh.
So I had just, Cohen was a baby, and this is the same trip. Like, it just, like, every time. Like, I don't know why I go anywhere. I'm talking myself out of ever going on vacation again. So Hayes was about 6 years old, and he was just at the level that was acceptable for height to ride. So of course David is like, yeah, come on, bud, let's ride.
Yeah.
And Hayes loves roller coasters too. He's like, okay. Well, the Ninja was one of those, and it came down and it went over you, and you ride it like standing up, and then at one point you have nothing underneath you, so you're just going like this. Hayes starts sliding down. And I see David, and they go by, and David has Hayes by his hair, and all Hayes is like this and the thing, and he's like, hey, Mom, we're good. And I'm like, please, stop the ride, my son's about to fall out.
That's like those videos you see of the slingshots, and then they get up there and like some of them pass out.
I would pass out.
Yeah.
I think I would. So, anyway.
I went to Six Flags in New Orleans. Did y'all ever go there when it was open?
No, I never
It was like a brand new park. I mean, it was brand new. And we went, and me and the people we were with, we got on like the little thing that shoots you straight up into the air. Well, they had just opened, so I guess the kinks weren't out yet. And I'm extremely terrified of heights. But it's
But you
supposed
chose to do that.
But it's supposed to bring you right back down. Well, it didn't. It got stuck. And so I could see all of New Orleans. And we're up there for like 20 minutes, and I'm like,
Panic attack.
I was trying. It was like, is there a ladder I can detach from and just climb back down?
I think that's what I was going to say. I would have been planning my route of escape.
Yeah, and that was before phone, so like I couldn't call 911. I couldn't do. I mean, it was like I was gonna die up there.
Oh, that's another really good topic we're going to discuss later. What we did with emergency situations before we had phones, because believe it or not, we did survive.
We did.
So, anyway, another topic I really, really would like to discuss, because it is who we are, is fashion. So let's talk about some of the worst fashion trends of all time. We can go back in history, we can talk about now, whatever. So what are some of the things that you consider one of the worst fashion trends of all time? And let's discuss.
Well, when I first moved to Mississippi, I was 12, and I actually went to a Grove for 2 years. And I remember the big thing then was to wear like your jeans and then like take scissors and cut them up to like right here, so you had like these little flare thing going on. I don't know why, or maybe somebody told me to do that to be mean, but I did that to all of my pants.
Do y'all remember when distressing first came, like, was a thing, but we really had to distress them? I remember like 1994, like cutting off a pair of jeans and like taking a fork and like trying to like make them fray and washing and drying them 100 times trying to make them fray. But definitely some of the worst fashion trends that I have ever come across in my entire life. Like the number one thing that I think is just the worst thing ever is bras.
Yep. Yes.
Like, why do we ever even start that? Gosh almighty, I can't stand it. This is actually one of the good things about being, you know,
The first thing that comes
quarantine.
off is the bra when you get home.
I mean,
Sometimes
here
it's
at
hot.
Vibe, we have definitely made it where clothes are comfortable. I don't know if there's anything to do about the bra situation now. Maybe I should tackle that while I'm at home, like trying to save the world from the coronavirus. I could also make a really good bra that's comfortable.
Sports bras aren't too bad, but they don't give you any support.
No,
It's still like,
they just,
it's still binding.
they're usually strappy. Like they have too many straps.
Like, it's just binding too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I hate bras. I don't like
hate
that we
bras.
ever even started any of that mess. But one of the things that, you know, like I'm going to go back to, and of course a lot of these trends we think are super cool at
Well,
the
they're
time.
come back. Everything just makes circles.
But I still have never been able to really understand the 80s hair craze. So how many of you ladies had the super permed hair, the big bangs?
The glamour shots.
Yeah.
Frosted. Remember when we would get our hair frosted and pull? I'm looking at her. She doesn't remember that. And we would get them frosted and we get our hair pulled through caps.
I did caps through the little,
Did you?
little highlights.
My mom permed my hair when I was in the 3rd grade, and it was no longer than it is now. So I looked like a brown-headed little orphan Annie.
Oh,
That was cool though. She was
Yeah.
trying.
Cool.
She was trying to make you cool with the perm. I say we bring perms back. Maybe not like the 80s bangs. You know,
Just
perm.
Goofy.
But like big hair don't care. Like I think we should work on that. So do you guys think we should bring back perms?
Perm, like little perm rocks.
Like
Especially for your preteen girls, because it
Yeah.
helps with the oil in their hair.
I think we can. Let's do that. Y'all want to perm my hair?
Yes, let's
Yes.
do
Yeah,
that.
but
on
the
here.
curl,
We
but
can go
So it'd be like,
Sally's.
phew.
Yeah.
So Amanda says acid wash jeans.
I kind of like acid wash jeans.
Becky
But-
says parachute pants. Yeah,
I agree.
I can get on board with that.
I'll probably get a little bit of flack for this, but I can't stand airbrush stuff. Like the airbrush.
like the stuff you get at the beach.
Yes,
Oh,
like you
yeah.
go to vacation and it's just
Well,
like
it's
your
kind of
whole
a like a
family.
rite of passage, like
Yeah.
cheesy airbrush t-shirts. Like I like that.
Yeah.
Like because like we have them. Like
Yeah.
Biloxi Beach, summer 2009.
My husband,
like
if you're watching right now, he has a white flat bill cap and it says swag on the top of it.
Is it airbrush?
And it's airbrush, hot pink and blue. I think I hit it.
Oh, I had something of David's when we first started dating, and it took like 2 years for him to figure
Oh, he's
out
watching.
where it was. Is
I was just
Oh,
talking
your
about
husband-
you.
Well, I'll talk about mine too, so it'll make it even. When me and David first started dating, he had a NASCAR jacket.
Oh God.
It was like a $400 NASCAR jacket, and if he's watching, help me, sweetheart. It was yellow and red. I think it was like maybe Kevin Harvick or something, and it had a McDonald's symbol right here, and it was like so like hard material too.
It's like puffer.
And like the first time I went over to his house while we're dating, he actually like went to his closet, got that jacket, and like showed it to me, like proud
Look what I got.
of this jacket.
This is Dale Earnhardt. What you talking about?
$300 jacket, and I guess because he knew I was fashionable, that was supposed to impress
My husband
me.
said you wrong for that.
But anyway, needless to say, that jacket disappeared.
He'll
So,
find it. He'll find it.
your husband or mine?
David will find it.
Oh no, it's gone.
Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's
It's
gone.
Like 11 years ago. Gone. It's
Gone.
gone. Yeah, it just disappeared in his move. That's
Oh, yeah.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what?
Oh, I was
Y'all.
gonna say, they said, okay, so, Monica said thongs, so I disagree on
Emily.
Emily is.
Mhm.
I like. Can I talk about this?
Sure.
I like granny panties.
Mhm.
I like the bigger the panty, the better.
she steals her mother's.
I do. I'll go over to Mama's house and be like, "Can I have these?" But I really like big panties, and I would rather not wear panties than have to wear a thong.
Yes.
Me and Hallie actually just talked about this the other day because when I have a thong on, I feel the need to dig it out, and I'll put it on
That's where
like
it's
one
supposed to
booty
be.
cheek,
Yeah.
like all day. It'll be like right
So
over
you're lying. I'll
here.
be like, where's her butt?
Right.
crack at?
So I just would rather not wear any. And that's one of the things here at Vibe. You do not have to worry about what underwear you wear because we're covering it up.
Yes.
Well, I remember one time a lady had special ordered a pair of shoes.
Mhm.
And they were those, the rope ones, remember we called them the
Yeah,
Jesus
the
shoes?
Jesus sandals.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
bring those back.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were black. And
Uh-huh.
so I called and left her a message and I said, your black thongs have come in. And Heather said, if her husband gets that, he's going to get the wrong message.
I did like those shoes.
Yeah, but those, we love those shoes.
We're gonna bring those back.
Those were so
Well,
comfortable.
I know I'm gonna get crucified for this one, and this is just my personal preference. Crocs. I don't like Crocs.
Okay, so-
now nurses and doctors, you do you all day long because they're on their feet. But as a fashion statement, ugh, I just don't like them.
You can't walk pretty in them.
And they're
No.
not cute.
It's hard to make them
Kinda.
sexy.
Well, it
Shelby,
really
you
is.
watch your mouth. She said, "How dare you?"
I mean, like there are certain
Personal
types
preference,
of-
Shelby.
Like I would wear them to the river.
Yeah.
Mark has a pair that was lined. That
I
he
wouldn't
wore
even
for
wear them to
his-
the river.
I would
like
wear them
fleece.
to the river.
That he wore, like the fake Sherpa,
Oh yeah.
that he wore for slippers.
Oh man,
And
But
I
you-
was not
I
as excited.
actually went to a Croc outlet store
I'm
one
sorry.
time,
That's a
and they
thing.
had some Croc heels.
No.
They did. They were little wedges, and believe it or not, they were okay.
That offends me.
So,
Well, Amanda says they're not safe for those in healthcare anyway. I would imagine because the holes in the top.
Yeah.
They're probably, I know they're
They're
comfortable,
like
but
ain't
some of them are like
Corona
clogs.
free with
Yeah.
all the holes in them.
Shelby said she's going to keep on crocking and rocking.
Keep on
You-
crocking
you
and
do-
rocking.
You do
Shelby.
you, Shelby.
Mm-hmm.
Anna that
Y'all all
modeled-
hate my heels. I can hate your Crocs.
Anna that
Right.
modeled for us last week, she had a pair of Crocs that were.
Oh, yeah, they were
She
leopard.
did. She came in and I was like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
are those leopard
You like
Crocs
that
on your
are
feet?
those? Come on.
They are leopard Crocs.
Do y'all remember the store in the mall called Gadzooks?
Yeah.
I don't think I
And
do.
it, when the Von Dutch hats were
Oh,
like a
yep.
thing, the
Mhm.
trucker hats, because Britney Spears
And
like
Ashton
Paris
Kutcher.
Hilton. Yeah.
And then what was that, Ed Hardy,
yes.
that everybody was doing?
Oh,
And the
Ed
little
Hardy.
rhinestones on your jeans.
Yeah.
With buttons and zippers that were completely uncomfortable. They
Yes.
did the rhinestone detailing like on the back pockets and stuff of those jeans, and they were so expensive. And so, not
Yeah.
not
Like
a fan of
if you
those.
were dating a guy and he had more bedazzled on his pants than you did,
Yeah, you might want to take that into consideration.
he's probably still wearing them.
You know
so
the
it's
other
expensive.
awful trend, speaking of rhinestones, this combines like three things we were talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay,
Do
be
you remember
careful
when
about rhinestones.
well, when they start, no, did
She
you remember
loves
when
it.
oh, I love rhinestones, but do y'all remember when they started making rhinestone thongs and girls would pull them up out of their jeans so you could see them?
I do remember
Oh,
that.
that was
Never
awful.
participated in the
No.
rhinestone.
They're probably
Thongs.
expensive too.
I had a few pairs.
I
I
used
did
to
not wear them
appreciate
out
it.
of my jeans, but I
You
did have some.
totally would.
They probably still wear them.
But
Emily.
they would like pull them up so you could see it. It
I
was
bet
like it
Emily
was
still has
terrible.
Mine would get
I
stuck. You
don't.
wouldn't even be
They
able
were
to.
really uncomfortable.
Well, I remember, which Emily, you'll remember too. Like I'm '90s kid, so like I remember like Jinkos
Oh,
and
Jinkos.
flannel shirts.
Yeah.
Very '90s grunge. We would wear the what were the little skater shoes? Vans.
Vans.
Vans and etnies or whatever. Yeah.
And that was really cool.
Mhm.
Gerbeau. Did you have Gerbeau
Yeah.
jeans?
Mhm.
Oh gosh.
Me and David were talking about that the other day. Remember when like Izod was cool to have, and like because it was a lot about brand names.
It was like Tommy Hilfiger.
Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
I had a Calvin Klein T-shirt that I literally would have laid my little 12-year-old self down in the road to fight for.
That's
Yeah.
how I felt about my Tommy Hilfiger T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot about the brands.
Yeah, that was like if you didn't have name brand on, you weren't. Now I don't care if it came from the Dollar Tree. If I like it, I'm gonna wear it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess jeans were huge
Yeah.
when we were
Huge.
younger.
And I saw a
Oh,
thing.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh,
Amanda.
that was
Oh.
my jam.
Oh, I would have fist fought somebody for. I grew up at this point when that was cool. I was like in Franklin County, Mississippi, very small town,
Yeah.
and we didn't have anywhere to go to a mall or anything. It
Yeah.
was a huge ordeal. I would have literally fought somebody for some Abercrombie stuff. I actually, for a long time, had a shirt that just said Abercrombie because I bought it before there was in Finch. Mm-hmm. It was that old.
Now they have Abercrombie and Fitch for kids.
Really? Not.
And my mom would always be
Not
like,
the
"It's
top
so
secret.
expensive," and I'm like, "No, it's not, Mom." And then I got to be an adult, and I went in there to buy some jeans, and I was like, "Well, no,
Oh, this is expensive.
well,
Mm-hmm.
let me put these $70 back."
And I can remember I wanted tennis shoes so bad.
Mhm.
The error between kids, we're talking
Yeah.
80s here, between kids and like Asics and like
Yeah.
cool Nikes and stuff.
They were kind of like high top almost.
And I can remember going to my mother and literally being like, I want some of those tennis shoes that have the curled toe. Because it was like the first time that, where the sole would curve
yeah.
up on the toe. And I have
Oh,
been the same size since I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I literally have. And I remember in 5th grade having to wear kids' white tennis
Same.
shoes. And I wear, then I was wearing a woman's size 10 shoe. And in all my pictures, I have one eyebrow, buck teeth, and kids that are this long. She's shaking her head. I'll show pictures. I'm not scared. And I always thought I was so pretty because my mommy told me I was pretty.
My mommy told me
So
I was.
I'm like, in all my pictures, and I have little kids that are this big.
Y'all, my mom still wears white kids every day.
They're
of her
in
life.
again.
Every day. of
They
her
are
life.
in again.
Sydney has a
So
pair of white cats.
your
They're
mom's
cute.
just on trend.
She is.
What goes around comes around. So
It
what are
really
some
does.
fashion trends that you think are going to be making their way back And are you excited about it or not excited about it?
You know what they're selling again?
What?
Swatch watches.
Where you can trade the faces? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I just remember they had like the jelly bands and like all the different really cool bands.
And you can
they
switch out all the
maybe.
stuff?
I don't know if you
Yeah.
can switch them out or not.
Well, one trend that I am totally predicting is going to come back, and let me go ahead and have a disclaimer. Like, I don't have these in production or anything. I'm not like trying to feed y'all one because I've got them coming in. FYI, nothing's coming in. But stirrup pants.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
I remember having those.
I think they're gonna be back.
You think
They
so?
already
I
are. They
do.
came, I thought they came back a few years ago. They were
But,
showing
like,
them on the runways.
Popular.
Yeah.
Like every day, like you have the option of getting regular leggings or leggings with stirrups. I bet
lived
they're
in
coming back.
those.
I remember having those as a kid, and I can remember being so excited when Mama let me cut them off.
Yeah.
I
just
hated
made
the way they
leggings.
felt in my shoe.
I
Yeah.
lived in stirrup pants.
So I predict those are going to be coming back, especially with our need for survival skills.
Yeah.
We can't have our leggings slipping up on us.
No. Talking about new shoes.
Right? So I totally predict those are coming back.
Well, we already
Um,
see that wide bell bottoms are coming back, which I
Oh,
love.
absolutely. Absolutely. What goes around comes around.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because I'll have ladies that come in the store and they're talking about our flares and they'll be like, oh, I was on trend when these came out last time in the 70s. And I'm like, no. The last time that flares were popular were the 90s.
Yeah.
And I did that by myself too. That was all me.
That was all you.
It was all me. I actually did start the trend of the backpack purse the first time, which was in the late 90s.
I've
That
never
was
had
me.
a backpack purse.
I had a clear one back before it was mandatory to take them to games, and it was just cool to have
You
a
were
clear
just
one.
cool?
I just had one.
I am so nasty.
Backpack.
In all actuality, I can never have a clear purse.
Yeah. Oh,
There
yeah.
would be like some gum that came out of a wrapper,
Mhm.
like stuck
Yeah.
on the side of it. 18,000 receipts.
Oh, receipts are bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just everywhere.
So I could never have a clear purse ever.
No.
All right. So guess what? We are going to be giving away Vibe Cash.
Yay.
So if you shared, participated, commented in this, you can win some Vibe Cash. Definitely keep this going. Let us know if you have any questions. If you just want to jump in on the combo and you're listening at like 11 o'clock tonight, chances are we are all still on our phones
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we do now. So tell us your favorite movie.
Yeah.
Tell us what you like. And we're going to have fun with this. And also, here's a little side note. I think it's super important that why don't we do like a Heather's thoughts at the
Okay.
end?
Deep thoughts with Heather Thompson.
Yeah, okay. So here's something that I want to talk to you girls about. It's very important that we are remembering every aspect of everything as we are going through this little crisis situation that we are going through. There are a lot of small businesses out there that need you guys' support. And if you're a small business owner and you're watching this, you know exactly where I'm coming from. The bills are still coming, whether you are a small business owner or an employee or whoever you are. The bills are still coming, but the income is kind of stopping. So what are we going to do? Well, I think it's very important that every time we can, we spend our money when we need to with local businesses or family-owned businesses. So
Yes.
even if you're, watching in Texas or whatever, think about family-owned businesses versus. You don't know how many people I've seen post on Facebook that they're so sad that TJ Maxx is closed.
They're gonna be okay.
They gonna be okay.
Mhm.
Let's be sad about the mom and pop shop down the street.
Right.
Let's be sad about the florist shop that is not sending out any flowers right now, or the dance studio that's not having classes, or the little family-owned restaurant that's only open 3 days a week that does not know how that they are going to make it. As we continue to go through this, I think it's very important that we not only lean upon our faith, because we know we're going to be okay, but we also have to remember to lean upon each other. If we're going to get through these times, we have to make sure what money is spent wisely. A lot of these bigger companies, they probably will have some kind of assistance, or guess what? I bet they have a savings account and they've planned for this,
Right.
or at least have something to fall back on. These bigger corporations, they're also not the ones that are going to try to help their employees. They're going to tell them to go home. Where a lot of family-owned companies, they actually feel invested in their employees, and so they feel the need to help too. But if there's no streams of income coming in, unfortunately, we still live in a society where people do live paycheck to paycheck. So make sure, if you can, you support local businesses. And in fact, if you are a family-owned small business or a local business, reach out to us here at Vibe. We have some wonderful things that we're kind of thinking about in the works where we can team up locally to support what's going on. There are some people that might not be concerned about their local economy. We are. And we know that if you're a business owner or just live day to day, that when all this is over, we want to go back to normal. And if we don't watch ourselves, there's going to be no normal to go back to. So if you are a local business, reach out, or a family-owned business, no matter where you are located, reach out to us. We're working on this. I feel like, and I've said it 1,000 times again, that, you know, Esther in the Bible, for such a time as this. We can get through this together, but we have to be able to see past the ends of our own noses. There are other people that this is greatly affecting, not just because of sickness, that they don't know what they're going to do. So not only is it super important that we all stay healthy, we flatten the curve, we make this go away as soon as possible, because if we don't, this is going to continue to draw out. So do what you're supposed to do, but also be very mindful. If you are ordering things online, see if there's a company locally that would supply those things. I know in Brookhaven, Mississippi, there's actually a place that makes commercial grade cleaning products. And they sell out and distribute all over the country. But let's work on keeping some of that monies back in our local. So instead of ordering off of Amazon some disinfectant cleaner, see if you can find a supply warehouse locally where that money can be spent back into our local income. Because if we don't watch out when all this is over with, there's going to be some businesses that cannot recuperate.
Yeah, Desiree said support the ones that support your ball teams and cheer teams. Exactly.
Amen.
Exactly.
Shelby said buy gift certificates to use later.
That's
Because
a
when this
great
is over,
idea.
you're gonna want to look nice.
Yeah, we're gonna
want to.
what did we say? It's gonna be like the best St. Patty Day Cinco de Mayo Easter that we've ever had.
So you wear that Easter dress in October. Go for it.
So anyway, ladies, this too shall pass. And I would just like for everyone to remember, let's say a prayer. Let's pray, because that's really what's going to always make a difference. It really will. So everybody spend your time. I saw somebody made a very good example. When you're washing your hands, instead of singing a song, pray. Because we're going to get through those. We're going to come out better. But I think that we need to, you know, not only worry about everybody in the community as far as getting sick, check on your elderly that need products and stuff like that. We need to lean upon each other, help each other out. But we also need to make sure that there is a local economy to come back on. I mean, do some research. Look up the Depression, you know, and we don't want to be there. So this is all going to be great. So if you're a local business owner or a small town business, wherever you are, reach out to us, because, you know, we would like to do little things like, you know, we can team up. We can get through this together. Well, tomorrow we are going to be back at 11. I mean, there's a 1 in 3 chance of who will be our guest star tomorrow.
I figure it won't be me.
It might be me again.
You
Who
never
knows?
know. You know, so it could be my 6-year-old, but nobody's coming in. So
Oh, your 6-year-old would be.
he would be hilarious.
Mine too. Yeah.
So we're okay. So write that down. We're gonna do that. Okay. So anyway, we will be back tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Some of the topics that we are going to be discussing are family game night.
Yes.
Because we've all been playing games with our children, like, because we're trying to be like, oh, family, love each other, and then we kill each other over Monopoly.
I'm loving
It's really fun.
I will save this for tomorrow, but I have tricked Alex into playing games that are also educational. I will share with y'all tomorrow what those are.
Look at that.
Jokes on Alex.
Yeah.
You're learning.
He's learning math.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those.
Turn it to fun. I'm like,
And what else are we talking about tomorrow?
So tomorrow, let me look in my notes. Let's see.
We are going to be talking, let's see, what did we say? Worst foods. So get ready for that. I like all foods, by the way.
and then TV shows.
Oh, yes. TV shows, board games, and the worst food you've ever eaten.
Okay, so TV shows.
I got you on TV shows.
And we're going to be doing, also, stay tuned, we're going to be giving you guys little supply lists. We're going to do a craft with your children. So So we're going to be asking you or with yourself, we're going to be asking you girls to get some of these things together so you can do the craft with us that's coming up. We're also going to be assigning over the next few days a cold case because we're all going to solve it together, and we're going to have discussions. So if you are obsessed with a cold case that has documentaries and things that people can do research on, let us know which is your favorite one that you would like for us to, figure out in our spare time. Because
And if you solve it, I'm sure there's like a national reward for it. Probably. It might be like $20,000.
I mean, I'm all for it. Everybody, and you get $1, and you get $1. So we'll figure that out. All right. So we're also going to be doing great things with Vibe Clothing Company as well, because that's who we are. So stay tuned for some amazing fashions. But in the meantime, just stay positive. Turn off the TV. Have fun with your family. And we will see you tomorrow. Don't kill anybody. That's how it is at my house. I'm having to put everybody in different rooms. So anyway, God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow, girls. Bye.